In the summer of 2020, we created a fake transfer rumour in relation to West Ham United. We're going to let this rumour grow organically, with the end goal being to try and get it reported on Sky Sports News. Could we create a fake transfer rumour and get it reported by the biggest sports broadcaster in the UK? In this video, we're going to rewind to the summer 2020. We're going to tell you what the fake rumour was, how we let it grow, and ultimately, did we manage to trick Sky Sports into believing our fake transfer rumour? Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video, and let's go back to the summer of 2020. Start with a bit of background, a little bit of a story as to why I've done this, then we'll get into what the transfer rumour was, how it went, and of course, did we get it on Sky Sports? Did we get our fake transfer rumour reported on Sky Sports? Now, back in the summer of 2020, funnily enough, I remember logging into social media one day and almost getting frustrated at how angry fans were towards what I felt was a transfer rumour, what I felt was quite obvious a fake transfer rumour, but it was being delivered by the journalist as news, gospel. West Ham will 100% go for this player. This is 100% the player that David Moyes wants at West Ham. And fans reacted to that quite angry, quite aggressively. They believed it. Now, I don't blame the fans. I blame the journalist for the way that he delivered it, and it frustrated me a little bit. Now I know what you're thinking. Hang on a minute, Gio, mate. You literally did a transfer rumour show a couple of days ago. You're always doing transfer rumours on here. So is Gonzo. We are. But A, it's transfer rumours. This journalist was delivering it as transfer news. Big difference, I think. Secondly, I think myself and Gonzo discuss it hypothetically, but also in a very calm manner. So we get linked to, say, Broha. We'll discuss if we'd like Broha at West Ham or not, and we'll move on. And more importantly, we don't really believe the transfer rumours. 99% of them we dismiss. We say, I can't see that happening, and we'll move on. There's no real negative emotion attached to it. Of course there's negativity. We say, don't really want him at West Ham, but that's as far as it goes. We don't get angry, we don't get worked up. So I got a little bit frustrated when I saw sort of the fans getting worked up and angry towards this piece of transfer news that was being delivered by the journalist. So I thought, I'm going to create a transfer rumour. I'm going to create a transfer rumour. I'm going to track it all summer just to demonstrate that you can just make stuff up and get away with it a little bit. So I knew I couldn't do it on my own, but my intention was to make up this fake rumour, do a video every 3 days, and at the end of the summer transfer window, I'd have 15 to 20 minutes of video footage, piece it all together, put it up, bish bash bosh. So I couldn't do it on my own, so I reached out to a good friend of mine, ex-West Ham employee over at the West Ham Way podcast, and I told him what my plan was. He could understand why I wanted to do it, because he too gets frustrated when fans believe things just like that. But he was a bit reluctant, funnily enough, because he didn't want to deliver fake news. He wasn't too comfortable with the idea of sticking in a made-up transfer rumour in his transfer segment of his podcast. But he decided to go for it. I managed to persuade him, twist his arm a little bit, and he thought, you know what, let's do it. So he said, you come up with the transfer rumour, you better do your video to tell everybody you've made it up. I'll put in my transfer update. I won't do a song and dance. I'll just stick it in the middle, let it roll off the tongue, and we move on. So that's what we agreed. So now it was time to make up the transfer rumour. Two parts to this. First up, which was the most difficult part, and that was getting the transfer rumour to go viral, getting it onto Sky Sports. That's the most difficult part. But the most important part was making the transfer rumour. I had to get it right. If I get this wrong, it doesn't go anywhere. We discussed it on West Ham social media for a day, and that is it. I needed to make sure I got this right. So the first thing I had to do was pick a position. Now, we knew West Ham in the summer of 2020 wanted a right back. Vladimir Sufal had not joined the club at this point, so Ryan Fredericks was our only option at right back. So I decided that was the position I wanted. Second up, I had to pick the player. So I knew I was going to focus in the Premier League. There was no point picking an obscure right back from the Bundesliga. People wouldn't know about him. So I had to pick a name that West Ham fans, majority of West Ham fans would have heard of and would discuss to give this a little bit of traction and hopefully get it going over onto non-West Ham social media. So I had a look around. I decided, well, let's focus between Manchester City, Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal and Chelsea. Those 5 clubs in the Premier League. I thought, let's focus on them. Let's find a right back that won't be getting a game time at that club, but may move to West Ham. Something believable. We never know what West Ham's budget is either, so I thought I'm going to have to take into consideration the financial side of this fake transfer rumour. There's no use being linked to someone that's going to cost us 20 million. West Ham just won't spend 20 million on a right back. We saw it with Matty Cash. We're interested in Matty Cash. he was over 10 million. We balked. We were never ever going to spend big money on a right back. So with all that, I decided the transfer rumour was going to be Dalot of Manchester United. He wasn't fancied by Jose Mourinho. A loan move out of Manchester United was perfectly believable. So I decided to link Dalot to West Ham on loan. I gave that transfer rumour to ex-West Ham employee and I said, it's over to you. The future of the fake transfer rumour was now in the hands of ex-West Ham employee, and the man did his bit. He went on to the West Ham Way podcast, and when he delivered his transfer update segment of the show, he discussed the potential signing of Dalot on loan from Manchester United. West Ham fans then took to social media to discuss the possibility of the signing, while some West Ham sites ran with it as their big headline news from the podcast, discussing that Dalot was of transfer interest to West Ham United. And it didn't stop there. It was even discussed on West Ham YouTube.
Big piece of news that has been circulating West Ham Twitter and the West Ham community is that Diogo Dalot of Manchester United could be set to be joining West Ham on loan for the season.
Unfortunately though, not everyone on West Ham YouTube was keeping up to date with all the West Ham transfer rumours at the time.
Absolutely.
Thomas, what do you make of the Dalot rumour?
Nothing, because is that the right back at Man
Yes.
United? Well, nothing, because I don't know about that rumour. He was meant to be the next best young up-and-coming
Well, they
thing.
spent 20 million on him.
Yeah. I think anybody would do a job. I think anybody's better. I can't... Actually, he looks quite good. I remember I saw him play a couple of times under Mourinho.
So you've just gone from, he was meant to be good, I don't know, actually he's quite good. That was never the aim. West Ham fans were always going to discuss this transfer rumour. A, it relates to West Ham. B, it's come from ex-West Ham employee. This was always going to happen. That was not the aim. However, it then started to go around on Manchester United social media that Dalot could be on his way to West Ham, and they started discussing the transfer news. Now, the good thing with Man United is some of their fan pages that were reporting this news, well, they've got quite big followings, and that's exactly what we needed for this transfer rumour. However, that was always going to happen. That wasn't the intention of the fake transfer rumour. West Ham and Man United fans and sites were always going to discuss this transfer rumour as it relates to their clubs. But with the transfer rumour now hotting up, some generic football social media pages began discussing and reporting the rumour without any credit given to ex-West Ham employee. They were discussing the possibility of Dalot departing Old Trafford for the London Stadium. This then led to some big and generic football websites reporting the same news again, but with no credit given to the West Ham Way podcast or ex-West Ham employee. They were discussing this as if it was their own news. And because of the way it's built, the news then made its way on to our favourite OneFootball app. And eventually we had it. We had our first bite from a red top in the UK. The Daily Mirror ran an article summarising the latest Manchester United transfer news, and in there they mentioned that Dalot could be departing Old Trafford to join West Ham United on loan, but again no credit was given to the West Ham Way podcast or ex-West Ham employee. They were reporting this on the Daily Mirror website as if it was their own news. Fantastic, but we still want Sky Sports. Could we now get this? We've got the mainstream media. Can we now get it onto Sky Sports? No. Unfortunately, no. We didn't get onto Sky Sports. That's as far as it went. We grew the transfer rumour organically. It got onto the Daily Mirror. It didn't go anywhere beyond that, and certainly didn't go anywhere near Sky Sports. X did his bit. This wouldn't be possible without X. I just want to start by saying a massive thank you to X, and of course Dave for allowing X to use the platform to do this, to support me. It was my idea, and when I first approached X, he was a bit reluctant to do it because it's fake news. He didn't want to put fake news out. He's got his own filter in place where he needs two sources before he puts something out there. It could be a transfer rumour, it could be fixture changes, it could be injury news. He always wants two sources to confirm something before he puts it out in the public domain. So obviously this one, I'm saying to him, this is made up. I've made this up. Can you put it out? So he was a bit reluctant, but I twisted his arm. And he understood why I wanted to do it, and I think that's why he went with it. So he did his part, and a massive thank you. It wouldn't be possible without him. I think he's my most trusted news source for West Ham. I think he's a lot of people's most trusted news source for West Ham. So I knew having X on board putting this out, I had a head start. It was almost going to do well among the West Ham social media side of things, and that was sort of the first domino. The next one was Man U, so on and so forth. So unfortunately, we didn't get to the last domino, which was Sky Sports News, but we got the rest of them, I would say. But I bottled my part. So X did his. I was meant to sit and record every 2 or 3 days. I was meant to record a minute video and send it to Charlie, just with an update of where the transfer rumour is. Then at the end of the transfer window, we would have a 15-minute video with all my little updates. Charlie was going to edit it all together, make it look good, make it look nice. And hopefully we were going to have a transfer rumour that did quite well. We were actually going to make 3. So Dalot was the first one. We were going to do 2 more. So I was going to pick a young promising player from the Championship in a big name from European football that West Ham could afford, and hope that one of the 3 would be a success. But I bottled it because I felt bad when the Dalot one went out. The first couple of days, I'm not going to lie, I was like, here we go. Now it's getting picked up. It's going here. It's going there. This is what we wanted. This is what we set out to do. But then I saw fans react to it, and I felt guilty. The exact reason I was making up a fake transfer rumour was because of how fans were reacting, and I was causing a similar reaction with my fake transfer rumour, and I didn't feel comfortable with it, to be honest with you. So we didn't make transfer rumours 2, transfer rumour 3. We didn't push the Dalot one. You know, I was going to do a transfer rumour show with Dalot as the main man all day. It was going to be on thumbnail, the title of the video, hoping that, you know, Man United YouTube, if you like, would pick it up and start discussing it. And I thought if all that happened, inevitably the rumour would be a success and it would get reported elsewhere. And it did get reported on some generic football sites, and then of course eventually the Daily Mirror. So to some extent it was a bit of a success, but I certainly didn't do my part in. I felt a little bit bad. You know, I was never going to release this transfer rumour, this video, but I'd mentioned it in a couple of other videos and to our patrons that we once tried a fake transfer rumour. And obviously it's international break, and a couple of people said, well, why don't you finally tell us what that fake rumour is? So there you go, there you have it. Dalot to West Ham. It was never happening. It wasn't real. We made it up. Myself and ex-West Ham employee made up this transfer rumour, and it ended up on the Daily Mirror's website being reported as gospel, really, that West Ham were in for him. West Ham were never in for him. But anyway, there you go, there you have it. Like I said, just lastly, thanks to Dave and the West Ham Way podcast. Wouldn't be possible without them. And yeah, I bottled it, essentially. But if you somehow enjoyed this video, apologies for the crap editing, by the way. I had to edit it. I couldn't give it to Charlie and make him spend hours on a fake transfer rumour. So I've had to do something. So yeah, apologies for that. But if you enjoyed this video somehow, drop a like on it. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Tomorrow night, Tuesday night, we'll be doing a cup of tea. Myself and Gonzo will be having a cup of tea. Then on Wednesday, we should have an interview with a huge name. Somebody that's got more followers than you can imagine on social media, is by far our biggest person to have on the channel yet in regards to followers on social media. So that should go up on Wednesday night, but we'll discuss it tomorrow in the cup of tea. So yeah, right, I'm blathering now. Apologies, going to disappear. Catch you in a bit.